Hi everyone, Mel Gabby here, and I'm sharing today from a very hot, not far from London and Windsor location. I've been posting the last few months, as you know, the travel videos that I've been doing from the trip that I took to Devon, Cornwall, Glastonbury and Kent over the last few months. But like many of us, sometimes our life goes through different phases and stages, and this year has felt more like I've wanted to be in one place longer and slow down and just enjoy some of what we call are the very ordinary things. So, my van broke down in October on my last big trip, and I knew it needed quite a bit of work. So I didn't have any transport for a few months, but I was happy to be at home. It was winter, and I started just clearing up, the laptop, the desktop on there, the house clothes, recycling, sending them to charity shops, all of that kind of stuff. I wanted to use that time for all that purpose, really. And by the time January came, I wasn't quite sure. I didn't want to plan it in the way that I did in 24 and 25. And we go through life phases. And I've been reflecting on the life phases I go through, because I think once you get into your 50s, you start thinking about what did you do when you left school and what jobs did you do and how did life unfold, what worked, what didn't, what did you enjoy, and hopefully with no regrets. You can see that these were all experiences. And so early 26, I started thinking that I've been really enjoyed being out in the van and exploring so many beautiful places. I love the UK. There's so much here. And getting out, meeting people, and even pushing myself beyond, my own anxiety about what was possible. And I've done that. And getting to Scotland was the crucible, really, because my mum was born in Scotland and I wanted to go back to the island and see the house where my nan and my mum lived. And I've found people that knew her, which was amazing, and just looked around the island. And I thought maybe that will be the last trip. I don't know, or maybe it's the last trip in the van. So I did that, and I wanted to really relish that moment that had been coming for a long while. And so by about February, I started thinking, okay, how can I go and explore places but be more central? And the opportunity to do some house sitting came up. And the first property I stayed at in Exeter was great because I love diving into the history. And my friend, she has a cat, so it's just me and the cat doing yoga. And I had lots of still time. I took my bike, so I was able to ride down by the river, make nice coffee, sit in the garden, play with the cat, do yoga, work with my clients online, go and explore the museums and the cathedral and all the things that I enjoy, and then go locally and chat to people. And I met some really interesting people. And I also started writing. I wasn't expecting myself to do that. But I just was reflecting on the people that I met, the conversations I had, and some of the ideas I had about history and what influences us and what makes us who we are, all of those strands, really. And then I spent 4 days in Glastonbury, and it was absolutely brilliant. I loved it there. The energy was just so... The moment I walked into the high street, I could feel it. It was just really uplifted, upbeat. Spent time at the Chalice, the church, the Abbey, sorry. Looking around the shops, meeting people, and met some. I mean, there were so many things I could have wrote. I could have wrote a whole series, I think, just on Glastonbury. So my writing's really evolved, and that's the thing, as we go through life stages, sometimes what we've been doing starts to lose its power, its interest, or it goes on the back burner, and something else sometimes comes through that becomes more relevant, that we want to focus on. And so that kind of naturally unfolded, because I was enjoying the process of waking up in the morning and thinking, oh, I think I'll write, this blog or essay about what happened in the last few days. And so all of that material is over on my Substack page. Everything's under my name, Mel Gabby. And I started building Patrion, a separate platform for creating a community. So I still love making the videos, and I've got the walk with me that shows you around the location that I'm in. The through the windshield is the videos that I take while I'm driving, of the scenery, and I add music to that. And then the reflections are what's come to me as a result of being in that location, in that different space. And so that was April. And then recently I had cataract eye operation. So apparently I'm quite young to have them. And they weren't serious, but I really don't know how people cope when they get bad enough to be able to see, because I was really starting to notice how they were making it difficult, making things not really difficult, but reading what I wrote on the laptop just became more of the strain. Seeing even what the TV listing was and working out what I wanted to watch, everything like that started to slowly get worse. And I was also worried that that would also then eventually interfere in me being able to drive. And thankfully, a scheme that we've got locally meant that that they would do them quicker rather than wait until they got really bad, thankfully. So so I had that operation, I think it was about 3 weeks ago. And so you're not meant to do yoga, ride a bike or anything like that, which are all the things that I love doing. So what I did instead was did a bit more of a deep dive into the writing and the reading and the research. So so that's kind of where I've been at. And I wasn't sure about, I don't want to just post things for the sake of posting them. And sometimes life can just feel so ordinary that you think, oh, is this just boring and mundane? But I do like watching. I watch a lot of YouTube videos about the characters over in China and their day-to-day lives. It's quite interesting. You're learning something about the nature of the people and the culture and what it's like to live there, because it might not be a place that I ever get to visit. So it's great to see it through someone else's eyes. So I've got a few more trips planned. They're not being confirmed yet. And I'm going to carry on with the writing. I will be making some more videos, so do keep an eye out for those. I'm going to talk more about Patreon and Substack if you want to come over there and join me and find out what I've been writing about, because I've wrote about all the trips. I'm thinking about doing oracle cards again, the oracle pull reading, but not as a divination tool, but more of a tool that stimulates a thought about particular subjects that I can share, because I love blending psychology, spirituality, philosophy, my own ideas and my experience of working with clients in 25 years in the mental health and wellbeing field. So do keep an eye out, but my channel is probably going to be multi aspects. So there'll be the oracle, there'll be the blogs that maybe I'll record some of those, there'll be the travel videos. Occasionally I'm looking potentially at doing podcasts again, and a couple of other projects. But mostly at the moment, and what's been uploaded to Patreon, is just those simple facets of day-to-day life. And I was even thinking about doing something about the things that are around me, you know, things that I notice every day that's ordinary to me that may be interesting, or, you know, something that other people might want to hear about. So the next step for me is my hair is as dry as the grass. So I need to revisit the hairdressers and get my hair shaped up. I've come on and it's baking here. The weather has been intense. I think for about 6 or 7 weeks now, everybody's getting this hot weather. Luckily, we're managing to sleep in it. And I've just been taking my car now, because I've got a car instead of the van, to drive to the next destination. So stay tuned, because I will be exploring burnout, midlife, oracle cards, reflections, things I notice, and the travel videos. So thanks for watching.